Hey guys, Attic Cyclist here, just with an update for the final resolve of my 2024 saddle dilemma. So here we are, as you can see, we have three Selle Italia SLR Boost Kit Carbonio, which is a fancy word for carbon rail saddle. So I had some friends on the Factor forum which were kind enough to sell me their takeoff saddles. And the reason why I chose to go with a takeoff saddle is because when Factor has their bulk order with Selle Italia, the Kit Carbonio normally has red accents in here and a stripe of red, which I just didn't want. So I wanted all black. So luckily enough, the Factor group on Facebook has been kind enough to sell me their takeoff saddles, which is where these three came from. I ended up selling mine that I first got because I wasn't going to use it. I was using my S-Works Roman Evo, but I've basically kind of come to like this SLR here, and it's been a little finicky to set up originally. I was trying to get along with it kind of like relatively at 0% in terms of saddle tilt, and I've kind of leaned more to like -1 just because there is a nice contour here that that already kind of accommodates your pelvis rotation. I just felt like I needed a little bit more to be kind of leaned over because this is a quote neutral style saddle. It doesn't have a wave, so I figured I'll just try to accommodate a little bit more pelvic rotation by just going nose down -1 degrees here. So, but as you can see here, I've got my fleet all in one shot in terms of the road bikes. We got the 2023 Superflow S5, we got a 2021 Factor Ostro VAM, and then we've got a limited edition specialized Olay Sprint in the acid dip colorway here. So I just wanted to get this on the channel. But basically one of the reasons why I am using this saddle, and I saw Rob Armstrong's video on it a few weeks back, and it was funny because I've already started collecting some saddles here, but I didn't get a chance to update the viewer base here with all of them because I was waiting for a few shipments. One came from Nevada, one came from New York, one came from Ohio. So basically, this is kind of what I'm going to go with for this year. And the reason why is, again, I like the larger cutout. I like how the cutout basically runs almost the full length of the saddle, right? Even up to here, considering how recessed it is in the actual base in terms of where the padding and the density is. So you can kind of get a good feel here of the depth. But I really like the saddle because it definitely gives a nice firm feel. You're not squirming around with too much material. And it does have a lot of flex in the shell, which I kind of like, and it's almost like, I would say kind of semi-independent because of the size of the cutout here. But I really started to like this. I had it on the trainer for 2 weeks, and I said, you know what? I got along with it pretty good, and so here we are with 2 more. So I really wasn't going for the weight. You know, I just, like I said, I like the look more of the carbon rail version in the takeoff Factor colorway, which again is all black and gray versus again those red accents. But I feel that this saddle does take maybe a few rides to get the position right. I set it up about 10 millimeters aft from where my S-Works Roman was. I did measure them, and the measurement difference from the saddle tip to the rear here was about 10 mil difference. So I did push it back, and then when I did that, I did kind of measure right from the stems to where the center of the stem, in this case in the S5, I just used that. But where I was approximately is sitting on the S-Works, and from the measurement from there to there was actually about 8 to 10 millimeters aft in terms of pushing the saddle back to get that seating area approximate, right? It's not scientific here, but it's approximate. So again, that was basically what the difference was in the overall length of the saddle. So, and again, the reason why I like this saddle and the reason why I gave it my Bajor, and again, personal preference, was you can see how much this saddle tapers, right? And the nose basically almost disappears, and it's very narrow. So basically when I'm looking down, I see maybe about this much nose, and my inner thighs do not rub anywhere in here, underneath where I was having some issues with the Bajoran, right where the rails were basically adhered to the base of the shell. So that's one of the reasons why I feel like this one works well. It's not just because, you know, it's you know, one of the probably top selling saddles, but because of the contour of how, you know, narrow it does get, but also offering a pretty contoured rear. Like if you look at the rear of like an S-Works Power per se, it has a real wide wingspan in the back, where this definitely has a nice taper, and then it just shoots straight down to help avoid any rubbing issues that you might have, again, as you're going down on that pedal stroke. So again, just wanted to update here with my fleet of the SLR saddles here, and I'm hoping that I put some 50, 60, 70 mile rides on to get a real good feel for how it was going to be for a long endurance ride. But for 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 for the majority of the ride lengths that I do, this should hold up pretty well. So if you have any questions, please feel free to shoot them in the comments. I do want to say that if you are interested in a Selle Italia saddle, trade-in or bike-in that ships from Spain has these saddles in any configuration, whether it be the tie rails, the manganese rails, the endurance, the Boost X version, which is for cross bikes or gravel. You can get those saddles out of the country for about 20% less, and there's no sales tax or VAT. You will pay about $15 for shipping, which takes about 2 weeks and comes by way of U.S. Postal Service by the time it reaches the States here. But so that's what I've been doing for other saddles, is I've been just kind of getting them out of the country, and they either come from the Netherlands, they either come from Germany, or they come from Spain. But like I said, never had any problems with trade-in, bike-in, so it's worth to take a look if you're interested in a saddle and want to get one for a pretty good price there. So, all right, if you have any questions, shoot them in the comments. Thank you. Be well.